Welcome to Pope's Plates. We're making an interesting salad today. It's called Kerri's pea salad, made with canned peas and bean sprouts. The attractive thing about this is that it's low calorie. You can have as much of this as a side as you want, and after a heavy dinner, this is great instead of potatoes. I'm going to start with cutting some celery. You're going to cut the celery very small. So I'm taking 4 stalks of celery. I'm cutting them in half. Then I'm actually going to cut it in fourths so that what I have in the salad is very, very small. I said this is Kerri's pea salad. Kerri is my sort of adopted daughter's niece. We have a very small biological family, just Jennifer and my son and me, and now Charlie and a daughter-in-law, but we have a lot of extended family. This is Kerri's salad, and it's something that she brings to every family celebration, and they are joining our family for the Thanksgiving holiday, so we're making her salad. The next thing we're going to do is cut an onion. Again, very small pieces. We don't want great big chunks of onion in our salad. Okay, we finished cutting the onions. I'm putting them in our bowl. I've got a great big bowl because there are other ingredients that are going into this pea salad. To get the vegetables ready, we need to drain them. I've got a large bowl here, and I'm going to drain the peas 1 can at a time. And when the liquid is gone, I'll put the first can in the salad. Second can of peas drained. Then we're going to drain the bean sprouts. This is kind of an oriental twist, sort of. I don't use bean sprouts very much myself, but they're very good in this salad. They look a little stringy, but they're good. The final ingredient that needs to be drained is a small jar of pimentos that have already been chopped. We don't need the pimento juice in there. So we've got that finished up. I'm going to set this aside and get ready to make the dressing. The final step in preparing the salad is to make the dressing. What you will want to do is add your vinegar and sugar and spices before you add your oil. You want to shake the jar to let the spices blend with the vinegar until you start putting oil in it. So I'm going to take the vinegar, and we need a 1/2 cup of vinegar. We've got a teaspoon of garlic powder. We've got a little over a teaspoon of basil. We have a couple of teaspoons of salt. And it calls for 1/4 cup of sugar. To make this low calorie, because it was important to me to have a side item that was not quite as calorie laden, I add Splenda instead. So 1/4 cup of Splenda. I'm going to shake this good so I can get everything blended up before I put the oil in it. Okay, I think that's done pretty well. Now we need to add the oil. This is just canola oil. Any vegetable oil will do. You don't want to use something like olive oil, which has a more distinctive flavor. And I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of oil. Again, you're going to want to shake this to emulsify everything in the jar before you put it on the salad. Our final step then is to dress the salad, pouring the dressing all over the salad and stirring gently to mix. You don't want to mess up all of those wonderful sweet peas that are in there. This salad is actually better when it has had an opportunity for all of the flavors to meld. So making it a day or two in advance is a good idea. I've finished making the salad. I invite you to stay tuned and join us for the next recipe that we make.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. Doesn't that pea salad look good? One thing we noticed when we looked at our Thanksgiving menu yesterday was that the pea salad was the only green vegetable we had on there. So we decided kind of last minute to make a kind of different green bean casserole. I'm going to start by draining. Because this is last minute, I'm not exactly sure how many green beans I'm going to need. I'm going to drain 3 cans of French cut green beans. That's my personal preference. If you like the, I guess, regular cut green beans, do that. I also know this is kind of against a lot of things, but I prefer them out of the can. I like fresh green beans, but not in green bean casserole. Well, one more. It seems like it's not the holidays without green bean casserole. And it's very easy and fast and um, you know, you can make a lot inexpensive. All right, we have got them out, made a little bit of a mess. So now we're going to go over to the stove and we're going to get all the other ingredients together and we'll be done lickety split. Now I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of butter because we're going to saute some garlic. Now, normally I would use whole garlic and break it up myself. But because, again, last minute, Thanksgiving is tomorrow, that one is, I just have garlic paste. So I'm going to let this butter begin to melt a little bit. And then I'm going to add the garlic. If you are using real garlic, and even with the garlic paste, do not have it turned up really high because garlic tends to get very bitter. Well, hi, Charlie. It's just butter. So it does get bitter. So you're just going to want to make sure that you keep an eye on it and keep the temperature down kind of low. I'm looking at this and it feels to me like there is maybe a tablespoon too much butter. So before this is completely melted, I'm just going to take that butter out because while we are enjoying rich dishes, we don't want it so buttery. And then I'm going to add the equivalent of, I'm going to add about half a tablespoon of garlic paste. If I were not making this for other people, I would add a whole lot more because I love garlic. What we're making is a little bit of a different take on a cream sauce. It doesn't, you don't have to make a roux, which is helpful. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. It's getting too bubbly. And then I'm going to add a block of softened cream cheese. Although I do need to tell you that this is not softened. So do as I say, not as I do. We didn't get it out. So this might take a little bit longer to melt. But it's, again, last minute. So I'm going to stir this around with the help of a Great Pyrenees mix here. Okay, it smells so good. Who knew that garlic and cream cheese could smell so fantastic? Our cream cheese has almost melted. Now I'm going to add, you can use cream of anything. I wouldn't use cream of chicken. I prefer cream of mushroom, but one of the family members that I'm making this for does not like mushroom or fungus, as she calls it. So I'm going to add 1 can of cream of onion. We are not going to dilute this at all. 1 can of cream of onion soup. This is going to give it a delicate onion flavor, which will be balanced by the crispy onions that we're going to put on the top. So I'm going to mix this together so that it's blended. Because our cheese was not really room temperature, it's taking a little bit longer. So we're going to get this blended, and then we're going to add our green beans, a touch of salt and pepper, and we're done. I mean, you have to cook it, but we're done prepping it. Okay, our cream sauce is emulsified, fancy word. It's mixed in well. The butter and the cream cheese and the soup have mixed in really well. Everything has melted. I'm going to begin adding my green beans a little bit slowly. As you see, there is very little liquid coming out of our green beans. They've drained really well. I'm going to start by adding about half of them. Now I'm going to give it a little stir. One, that will help us not overfill our pan. And two, it will help me see how much more I need once everything is completely mixed in. Okay, so I can already tell I'm going to need 4 cans. Good thing I have the other can. While this is melting, because as you know, we're a family cooking channel, I'm going to stir this, and off camera, I'm going to hand the green beans over to my mom so that she can drain the other pan. It's nice to have help. And this is mixing in beautifully. While she's doing that, I'm going to put in a pinch of pepper and a pinch of salt. We use kosher salt. Use whatever kind of salt you want, except I sometimes will put like big finishing salt in accidentally, and it doesn't dissolve very well. Good? All right. Oh, it smells so good. All right, so we have all of our green beans. I want you to see what it looks like and how I know that there's not enough green beans. After all, this is a green bean casserole and not a cream cheese and onion soup casserole. So I'm going to slowly add the rest of them in. Yeah, our pan's going to be pretty tight, but we're going to be able to make that work. And I'm just going to stir this until everything is combined. And then we're going to put it in a casserole dish. Now, I have a friend that is needing something smaller. So we're going to go ahead and cook hers today. And we're going to use these ingredients, but we're going to cook hers today in a smaller thing so that our onions don't get soggy tomorrow. So we're going to break it up so you're going to get to see the whole process. So as you can see, our green beans are about as many green beans as the pan will fit. And also, we could probably use a few more, but this is good. It's much better adding the other can. Now, here's a little trick that I use that I won't do today because I'm making this for other people. We have crispy dried onions, and sometimes I put them in here a little bit so that, and they melt. They don't melt, but they get soggy and they're not crunchy. It just gives more onion flavor. But if you're a watcher of this channel, you know that I'm sort of an onion fanatic and not everybody likes onion that much. We have two kinds of crispy onions that we can use. Because my friend likes garlic like I do, I'm going to use garlic pepper crispy onions right here. When I make it the other one for the rest of the family, I'm going to just put traditional crispy onions on the top. So I'm going to put this one together for my friend. I'm going to top this with our garlic pepper crispy onions. The reason I'm not doing it to the family's one is because we're not eating until tomorrow and they'll get really soggy. So I'm going to put this in the oven on 350. And similar to a cream spinach recipe that we made a couple weeks ago, it should actually be 2 videos before this. It only cooks about 15 minutes. It's just more to heat it through and to get the onions on the top a little bit crispy. The rest of this is going to go in our casserole dish. Just a little side note, I have these round casserole dishes without handles, and they were so hard to get out of the oven. And I got grippy oven mitts, life changing. So, just a little hint if you wanted to do that. We're going to put this in the refrigerator. It actually might be a good thing because the flavors may meld a little bit. Our kitchen timer just went off. So, I'm going to take this little mini green bean casserole out. This looks absolutely fantastic. There's some brown and crispy on the top of the casserole. I can't wait to share it with my friends. I'm so glad that you could join us for our video series of non-traditional holiday sides. I hope you and your family had a fantastic holiday season if you choose to celebrate. Until we see you next time, let's keep cooking.